Yes, good afternoon and welcome to yet another class in economics. Today we are going to be handling this particular subject matter, which is the movements in demand. And under the movements in demand, we are going to be concerned with the change in demand and the change in quantity demanded. So, those are the two variables under the movements in demand. The movements in demand simply has to do with the different ways through which the demand curve can move its position. It can either move rightward or leftward. It can move upward or downward. So those are the various movements in the demand curve. So these movements in the demand curve are better understood as a concept using a change in demand and a change in quantity demanded. So I would like to also start with a change in quantity demanded. Let's begin with a change in quantity demanded. Okay? So we start with a change in quantity demanded. Now, what is a change in quantity demanded? A change in quantity demanded is the upward and downward movement, or the upward or downward movement of the same demand curve, which is caused by changes in price. So, a change in quantity demanded is the upward or downward movement of the same demand curve, which is caused by changes in price. Now, the upward movement of the demand curve is known as a contraction in demand, while the downward movement of the demand curve is known as an extension in demand. Now, we said that the upward movement of the demand curve is a contraction, while the downward movement of the same demand curve is an extension. Now, what is a contraction in demand, therefore? What is a contraction in demand, or in demand, or what brings forth a contraction in demand? Now, in demand, a contraction is seen when there is what? A fall in quantity demanded. When there is a fall in quantity demanded, we established that fact that there is a contraction in demand. What leads to a fall in quantity demanded is simply what? An increase in price. An increase in price. Now, when we talk of a contraction in demand, it's simply that situation where there is an increase in price of goods and services, which leads to a fall in quantity demanded. Now remember the first law of demand and supply, which states that more of a commodity or a good will be demanded at a lower price than at a higher price. Now, which therefore means that when the price goes up, quantity demanded does what? Comes down, and vice versa. So with a contraction in demand, when there is a contraction in demand is established when there is an increase in prices. Of course, following the law of demand, when there is an increase in prices, it will lead to what? A fall in quantity demanded. So this fall in quantity demanded is what is illustrated as a contraction in demand. While an extension in demand, is seen when there is what? A fall in price. When prices fall, which eventually leads to what? An increase in quantity demanded. Okay, so when we get of extension in demand, you have to understand that it is that situation, or it exists, extension in demand does exist when prices are falling, which leads, the fall in price eventually leads to what? An increase in quantity demanded. So you should understand these two variables, okay, in as much as change in quantity demanded is concerned. So a change in quantity demanded is simply the upward or downward movement of the demand curve, the upward or downward movement of the same demand curve, which is caused by changes in price. Okay, an increase in price will lead to a fall in quantity demanded, which is called a contraction in demand, while a decrease in price or a fall in price will lead to an increase in quantity demanded, which is known as an extension in demand. So I hope that explanation is very much clear. I'm going to go now into an illustration. Let's look at a graphical. Let's look at an illustration. Let us illustrate this concept. Now, the change in quantity demanded. Here we have price. Remember, we have established the fact that in as much as the demand curve is concerned, price must always be allocated on your y-axis, while quantity demanded is allocated on your x-axis with a permanent base 0. Now, our normal demand curve slopes downward from left to right. And this downward sloping of the normal demand curve is due to the fact that when price goes up, quantity demanded comes down and vice versa, which is the first law of demand and supply. Because the higher the price, okay, the higher the price, alright, the lower the quantity demanded. The lower the price, the higher the quantity demanded. Okay, that is why the demand curve slopes downward from left to right. Alright, so let's take it again. We want to illustrate a change in quantity demanded. Here we have price on our y-axis, and here we have quantity demanded on our x-axis with the permanent base 0. Now we have our initial demand curve, okay, our initial or original demand curve. We have our original demand curve, right? There. Alright, now we say that it is a change in quantity demanded is the upward or downward movement of the same demand curve. Meaning that we are going to have just this original demand curve, but we are going to realize an upward movement or a downward movement of this demand curve. Now, here we have price P, okay, allocate this P, we have P2 and we have P1. Now, when at the base P, okay, quantity demanded is allocated as here. When price increases from P to P2, quantity demanded does what? Falls to Q2. And when price drops from P to P1, quantity demanded increases to Q1. Are we there? I hope you are following. Now, here we have P, which is the base. We have P, which is the market price. Okay? When P increases from P to P2, okay, there is a fall in quantity demanded from Q to Q2. And when P decreases, when P price decreases to P1, there is what? An increase in quantity demanded from Q to Q1. Good. Now we say that an extension in demand is a situation where there is a fall in price which leads to an increase in quantity demanded. So in this case, where there is a fall in price which leads to an increase in quantity demanded, it therefore means that from here, from this point, from point, let's name this point A. Okay? So let's say from point A to point B, we are going to call that the downward movement of the demand curve, and we will term it as extension in demand. Why do we term it as extension in demand? We term it as extension in demand because it is caused by what? A fall in price, which leads to what? An increase in quantity demanded. That is an extension in demand. Now, we have A, we have B, and let's have here what? C. And we call this the upward movement. We term it a contraction in demand. Contraction. Why do we call it contraction? It's simply because of the fact that it is caused by what? An increase in price, which leads to what? A fall in quantity demanded. So, we have an extension and contraction in demand. I will take it again. A change in quantity demanded is simply the upward or downward movement of the same demand curve, which is caused by changes in price. The upward movement of the demand curve is known as a contraction in demand, while the downward movement of the demand curve is known as an extension in demand. A contraction in demand is caused by an increase in price, which leads to a fall in quantity demanded, while an extension in demand is caused by a fall in price, which leads to an increase in quantity demanded, as illustrated here. So let's look at the next, which is change in demand. Change in demand. Now the second is change in demand. Now, what is change in demand? Change in demand is simply a complete shift of the demand curve, either to the left or to the right. It is a complete shift of the demand curve, either to the right or to the left. This time, not affected by what price, but by the factors that influence demand. Meaning that with change in quantity demanded, it was the upward or downward movement of the same demand curve, which is caused by changes in price. But with change in demand, it is a complete shift of the demand curve, either to the right or to the left, which is not caused by price, but by the factors that influence demand. So, with change in demand, the variable that causes the movement, either a complete shift to the right or a complete shift to the left, are simply the factors that influence demand, or the determinants of demand. Okay, so there are those factors that determine demand, or those factors that influence demand, that will lead to a complete shift of the demand curve, either to the right or to the left. If the factors are favorable, if those factors like taste and fashion, seasonal variation, population change, population structure, income of consumer, all of those factors, if those factors that influence or determine demand are favorable, of course it will lead to a complete shift of the demand curve to the right, which indicates an increase in demand. But if the factors are unfavorable, of course it will lead to a complete shift of the demand curve to the left, which is a decrease in demand. Okay, so while we have an extension and a contraction in demand, we change in quantity demanded. For change in demand, we have an increase or a decrease in demand. An increase in demand is a complete shift of the demand curve to the right, which is caused by the favorable conditions of the factors that determine demand, while a complete shift of the demand curve to the left is a decrease in demand, which is caused by unfavorable conditions that influence or determine the demand for a commodity. And these factors are simply what? You have taste and fashion, seasonal variation, population change, population structure. You have other factors like income of consumers. You have seasonal variation, seasonal changes. You also have factors like changes in the prices of other goods, okay, substitute goods and all of that. So, if those factors are favorable, it will lead to an increase in quantity demanded, which is a complete shift of the demand curve to the right. But if those factors are unfavorable, it will lead to a complete shift of the demand curve to the left, which is decreasing in demand. So, in defining a change in demand, it's simply tell the market that a change in demand is a complete shift of the demand curve, either to the right or to the left, which is not caused by what? Price, but by the factors that influence or determine demand. A complete shift to the right is an increase in demand, while a complete shift to the left is a decrease in demand. So let's illustrate that on a graph. Let's go for a graphical illustration of a change in demand. Here we have price as usual, then we have quantity, and we have demand base 0. Now, this is our original demand curve. We have D. We have a complete shift to the right. We came down D2, or sorry, you can tell me D1, D1. We have a complete shift to the left. You can call it D2, D2. Now, remember that price is not the factor that will lead to the complete shift of the demand either to the right or to the left. The factor here is what? Changes in the factors that influence demand or the determinants of demand. So, price here is what? Constant. That is why we say price is at P bar. So, at a constant price P bar, quantity demanded either increases or what? Decreases due to the changes in the factors that influence demand or that determine demand. So when it is DD, here we have here cure. When it is D2, D2, here we have here cure 2. And when it is D1, D1, we have here cure 1. So the movement, a complete shift from DD to D1, D1 is a rightward shift of the demand curve, which indicates increase in demand. So it will lead to this complete shift of the demand curve to the right, will lead to an increase in quantity demanded from cure to cure 1. While a complete shift of the demand curve to the left will indicate a decrease in demand, which will lead to a fall in quantity demanded from cure to cure 2. Right? So that is an illustration for a change in quantity demanded. So I repeat, for a change in demand. I repeat, a change in demand is simply a complete shift of the demand curve either to the right or to the left, which is not caused by price, but by the factors that influence demand like taste and fashion, seasonal variation, population change, population structure, income of consumers, changes in the price of other goods and other factors. Okay? Now, it is not caused by price. That is why price is what? Constant. And at this price, there are what? Changes in the quantity demanded. When those factors that influence demand are favorable, it leads to a complete shift of the demand curve to the right from D to D1, which leads to an increase in quantity demanded from cure to cure 1. And when the factors that determine demand are unfavorable, it leads to a complete shift of the demand curve to the left, which leads to a movement of the demand curve from D to D2 that eventually affects quantity demanded from cure to cure 2. Thank you very much for